Alright, Internet. I have returned again. It seems, endless. Mass Effect 2 is so long. I dislike it so much. It feels like I'm just screaming into the void here. So, I do have a couple ideas. I have actual topics to discuss this time. Besides just complaining about how much Mass Effect 2 is my least favorite of the game. Or franchise. Which I guess is an excellent place to start on my list of things. Mass Effect 2 sucks. No, this particular point in the game, right? The Collectors have invaded the ship, they've taken all the crew, everybody's gone except for Shepard and the squad mates. The only correct option is to immediately chase the Collectors down through the Omega-4 relay and rescue everyone else in the crew. But, because of the meta, because us as the players know what's going to happen, we're going to run around instead. Ooh, a false signal. This must be DLC. Let's go see what's going on. Because we as the players know what's going on. We're going to run around and do all of these loyalty missions and side quests and stuff to get everything 100% mint condition, min-maxed this, etc., playing the meta, so that as many people as possible survive the suicide mission.
Road launched.
But this means that the crew is, that much longer being held in the clawed insectoid,
Probe away.
genetically modified Prothean clutches of the Collectors. So,
Launching probe.
what does it say about the characters and the moral compass of said characters?
Probe
We have the squad with Miranda and Garrus and Grunt and all those people, etc. And they're the only ones on the ship.
Anomaly detected.
Logs detected. Report to hazard shelters immediately.
Probe away.
Alright, I guess I'm getting distracted along the way.
Report to hazard
I'm going to
shelters.
call this a tertiary mission on my way to go do a secondary mission that is delaying me from doing the primary mission. Because, this primary mission that we're supposed to be doing, I've got all these people now. What does it say about them and their moral character when we're still running around doing stuff, like Jack blowing up an abandoned facility, or Jacob finding his long-lost father, Samara hunting down her daughter, Zaid getting revenge on whoever that other guy was that he did mercenary stuff with, or Garrus here. He just wants to get revenge on the other guy that killed his squad, which is entirely understandable and noble, and I find no fault in Garrus for that. I'm not bashing on Garrus. I'm bashing on the way the game is written, forcing us to make this decision, which, in one way is a good thing. This whole game is about, this whole franchise is about making decisions that affect or influence the story. My point is, we're running around doing all of these personal favors for this, what, dozen people? 3, 6, 9, yep, dozen people. While everyone else in the crew is, who knows what being done to them. Being probed by terrifying aliens, melted down into gray goo to get turned into alien robots to kill other humans, and it's a mess. I have no idea what this random mission is on this planet. I might recognize it when I get down there, but I have no idea what's going on right now because I was ranting. And I will continue ranting, but before I continue ranting, why don't we actually pick a squad here so I can advance something entertaining. Assuming it's red? I don't remember that. Alright. We haven't had this guy along since the beginning, so I'm gonna throw him back in. He needs leveled up a bunch, right? For no reason other than we always take Garrus, I'm taking Garrus. Just so that I can make a decision and we can continue. So I've got to level up Saeed here. What? Batarians. Missiles. What?
Warning. 2 missiles are approaching target. I am transmitting a countdown to impact.
What? So anyways, to sum it up in a sentence, what does it say
Looks bad.
about all these characters? They're running around doing these personal favors instead of rescuing the crew.
Nice shot. One less to worry about.
I have no idea what's going on other than there's Batarians, which is the atypical bad guys, Space North Korea. And they've got some missiles, so it's Space North Korea, on a timer before they launch the missiles. Space North Korea. Let me change guns here. I don't know where I'm supposed to be going to disable these missiles.
No shield.
You got it.
And again with the shooting of Garrus. They must know Garrus is the biggest badass because they always shoot Garrus first. I just want to get to the power cells. Zaid, I need your help. Is it just me? Or are things louder than usual? I want cover over here, thank you. Prison guard. Okay. Batarians are called prison guards. This problem is temporarily solved. Garrus is alive again. We go down here, I'm assuming, since there's another locked door, to stop all these missiles. That one was really spread out. That was a pain to solve. This is exciting! We've actually got something stirred up here. Batarian
Through
command.
my shield.
I'm assuming we can go down there. Have to do another hack. That. White across the top. And this shuts down the missiles? Missiles to what?
There is only one remaining kill switch code. Therefore, only one missile can be stopped. Use the kill switch code to save your selected target.
What? Oh, gosh. Alright. So now we've got two missiles using different codes. And I've only got a code to kill one missile. So we know the other one's going to happen. So if we kill the missile going to the spaceport, which then saves the military assets in the area, or kill the missile going towards the city, which says hundreds of lives. Doesn't sound like a city if it's hundreds of lives. And you'd have to evacuate the colony, which, without a spaceport, seems kind of... I mean, how do you... Thinking of it this way, it seems silly to save the residential district, because then the spaceport is destroyed. And then the residential district is going to be stranded there all by themselves, without any help. Without a spaceport, you can't get stuff in or out, and you're going to be screwed either way. So, saving the spaceport.
That should do it.
But what the heck? Did I miss something up here? Like, I know we didn't go down this hallway. Okay, there's nothing here.
All clear here.
So I guess we end the mission? What the heck was that? That's what I get for not reading the planet card. Prevented Batarian radicals from destroying the colony of Franklin. Saved the colony's infrastructure. The colony remains viable for repopulation. I mean, if there was... It said hundreds, so worst case scenario, 999 people. Isn't a whole lot of people? I don't know... Eh. So that was a thing. That's what I get for being nosy and trying to, look at every planet in the system, just so that this says 100%.
Probe launched.
So, back to my original point, before I got distracted by Batarian terrorists with giant missiles. I don't think, like, canonically, it should not be possible to be in this current situation where the ship is basically uncrewed and you've just got the 12 random squad members that are still running around doing whatever the heck, menial task they want for their loyalty, when you've got stuff, you could go do the thing. And on top of that, they've got the entire crew, like, hostage. I feel like... I mean, they all know it's a suicide mission. And there's the controls being stupid again. But I feel like, Grunt's not gonna care. He's a week old and just wants to kill things. Garrus, obviously wants his revenge for his dead squad, but he realizes, like, the Collectors are kidnapping entire colonies of people, and that is from a utilitarian standpoint, a bigger problem. So I guess that's the root of the point I'm making. That from the dialogue, the codex, the lore, we know these characters are selfless in one way or another, or for one reason or another. And that none of them would be so selfish as to ignore the utilitarian crisis that they are currently faced with, which is, even if it was only the crew of the ship, that is more people than them. It is very easily, arguably, the greater good, to sound like the Tau.
Launching probe.
So, why the heck are they dilly-dallying? That being said, I'm still gonna go through and finish all the loyalty missions before we
Detected an anomaly.
launch this suicide mission, because, as I started this rant with, the meta of the game, we know there's a third game after this, and assets and people alive, and etc., etc. I know I'm not a nice person. In a metaphorical storytelling writing point of view, I write unforgiving literature. And if I had been writing this game, this series, this franchise, I feel like for the Legendary Edition, since it's all 3 games put together in one, and being, a re-release of the previous 3 games, so everyone that plays Legendary Edition already knows what happens. The spoilers have been spoiled. That it should be one continuous thing. That you shouldn't get do-overs or replays, and that what happens, happens, and it is canonical henceforth for your Shepherd. So, in my case, because I activated the IFF too early, and I only had like 3 people whose loyalty missions were done, and they're like, nope, crew's been stolen, you have to go now. Like, you don't even have enough crew to run the ship, it's time to do the suicide mission. And then, half of the squad dies, and they're just not there in Mass Effect 3, and that should be my problem to deal with in the future.
That sounds terrible.
And yes, that does sound terrible, but that's why I prefaced this explanation with, I'm not a nice person when it comes to writing stories. But that would make everything you did that much more meaningful and important and urgent. Like, I feel after a certain number of hours or certain events, like, it's just gonna launch you there and you don't have a choice. So going into this that you don't have enough time to get everything done that you need to do. And I think that would be even more, like, even better, even more important in Mass Effect 3. So you don't necessarily have time to go save the Quarian fleet in their war with the Geth, which is very poorly timed, by the way, because you instead decide to go save the Turians on Palaven, because the Turian military is stronger than the Quarian fleet, even though the Quarian fleet is huge and fantastic. The Turian military isn't just the Turian fleet, but all Turians. And that you should have to make those kinds of trolley on the train tracks kind of decisions. If there is 8 submissions before this final attack on the Collectors, that you should only be allowed to complete 5 of them before Anderson calls and says, hey, the Reapers are doing this crazy thing, we need you on Earth now, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Probe away.
But that's just me spitballing. And I understand why, from
Broke away.
a marketing standpoint, why
Scans have found something.
BioWare didn't do that, because I'm sure that would make lots of players angry, and they would just put the game down and that'd be the end of it. And you wouldn't have anyone buying your games in the future making you more money. Hence why I can do this with cheesy Russians lost in space fighting lizardmen that want to eat them, science fiction, instead of massive video games. Pirate ambush. Alright.
Yay, space pirates.
Every good story has pirates.
And lava.
And lava. There is lava in Mass Effect 1. I can't think of any readily in Mass Effect 2. But immediately coming to mind is the planet, what is it, Therum in Mass Effect 1, where you go to rescue Liara from her floating bubble prison. There's lava all over that place. Alright, pirates. We're gonna bring Garrus, because it's Garrus. And how about, because we need giant guns, let's bring Grunt. I don't think I've even used Grunt yet. Ah, Garrus. That face. I just want to pet him like a dog. He's a good boy.
Garrus is a very good boy.
I know that
He's the bestest.
Turians are more closely related to birds, which just makes me want to have, Rick and Morty bird person references.
Please don't.
Yeah, I can't do that because I haven't watched the newest season of Rick and Morty. I was disgusted with season 5, so I'm over it. They can do whatever for season 6. I don't care anymore. That was a dude. Alright.
Heads up.
Don't yell at me, Garrus. You're the one with the sniper rifle. You shoot him.
Change weapons.
Never saw it coming. There we go. I'm going.
Whew, rockets. Catch. Garrus, why aren't you shooting anything?
Impact shot.
Cover.
Cool. Go back to my SMG. While I do this flanking thing.
Hitting cover.
I feel like the sound
Switch up.
has been redone,
You got it.
because just having Grunt walking next to me was terrifying. He sounds so chunky. Data pad.
Shuttle just landed outside the southern entrance. Get out there and take them out now.
I forget, was Zaid the Blue Sun's founder?
Concerns over
Should I have
employee
brought him?
safety, the Broadfield mining facility has been
Probably.
closed until further notice.
Oh. This fight. I remember this.
Yeah, right on your ass.
Still charging. Now I can send it.
Got it.
I'm gonna go back to this gun because the range of this fight.
Impressive.
Burn off more of his armor.
On the ground now.
Last clip. Because I love this gun and the sound of it, I'm just gonna burn these last 2 rounds. Thud. Best gun in the game. Best gun in the franchise. I will go that far. Mess hall. Food has my attention. You too, Garrus.
There we go. Understood.
Can you imagine what kind of a logistical nightmare across species task forces would be? Like, you've got humans and Turians fighting alongside each other. You can't eat the same food. You can't drink the same liquids. You can't use the same medical equipment. Just imagine during the First Contact War when humans are meeting these terrible spiky monster bird people. And, like, some brave, poor private somewhere is like, oh, I wonder what their food tastes like, and just starts vomiting blood. Can you imagine how terrifying that is? I feel like that is underplayed in the significance as far as the writing and the story goes. You know, then you find out about it as the player, and you're like, huh, that's kind of cool. Like, it's a huge deal. It should be, like, shoved in your face from the very beginning.
From that deck side, boys. Move all the unsorted cargo to the mines to make room.
That being said, I wouldn't give up Garrus for anything. Garrus is the best boy. Even if he's not very good at being a
You
Turian.
won't make it out of here alive.
Oh look, I'm back. We haven't fought those before. Grunt, do your thing. Problem solved. And they shot Garrus already. Now Grunt is down. Unity. That one, his shields are down. Alright, mech down. So we can focus on the other one. Big boom. Alright. Goodness. It just didn't like me killing robots, so it just spawned all the bad guys around me. Now, since I talk about Garrus and Grunt and their motivations, I'd like to talk during this crazy gunfight about all the dialogue between the characters and all the little lore bits you get to learn about them and their backgrounds and their histories. Like, the best way to learn about Turian culture is to talk to Garrus, an actual Turian. And there they go again, attacking Garrus. That's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted.
Got no shield.
So, to this end, where I'm talking about talking with Turians. Just because he's here and I can use him as an example. Or Jack, or Samara, or Liara, anyone, everyone. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone. I feel like you have to play the game too many times to get through all of the dialogue, all the content. Like how it stood there for a second and they're like, oh wait, you are dead. And then she falls over. Ah.
I'll put them down. Quickly.
Wow, I'm surprised Rex went down first instead of Garrus.
Whoever you are, you won't make it out of here. You're alive.
Garrus, a little help would be nice.
About to go off.
Alright.
Right.
I'm on it.
I'll put them down.
I'm going.
Grunt is down. I almost called him Rex.
This should slow him down.
I know I'm supposed to be ranting, but this is a very intense gunfight.
One less to worry about.
I am impressed.
Unshielded hostile.
Damn it, he got Garrus. You guys are so mean. Why is everybody an asshole? Alright. Let's bring out the big gun. I love how quickly this gun solves that problem. Now, as I was saying, all the dialogue with all the squad mates can't be had. Because there's multiple times, like, there's specific lines of dialogue between Garrus and Tali on Mission A. But there's also specific dialogue lines between Garrus and Ashley on Mission A. Or between Alenko and Ashley, or between Ashley and Rex. Like, hey, remember that one time I shot you? So you can't get them unless you replay that mission with various different characters, which means, like, you gotta go back and reload a save and play again, or do a whole nother playthrough. Which, again, I understand they probably did that intentionally to make people play their games more, blah, blah, blah. I would like it if there was some big, expansive, tactical way you could play with all of the squad mates in the mission all at the same time. Which would certainly require upping the ante. Because, I mean, it was a little bit of a challenge, but there was 3 of us. I'd call it even if there was 5 of us. You throw in all 12 people, that wouldn't have been a challenge at all. So you'd obviously have to make missions more difficult. But I feel like it should be easier than playing the game 8 times to get all the dialogue between all the people. And do all the things. Because there's some brilliant morsels, both of lore, of backstory, or just amusing banter. Can I go there?
We have used half our fuel.
Thank you. And this witty banter is oftentimes half the reason I bring who I bring or play with, you know, the characters, the situations that I bring, that I do. Alright. So I guess we're going to go all the way here, and we'll do Morden's mission now. And then that will leave Thane and Garrus' mission, since they're both on the Citadel, for next time. And then that should be everything. Before the infamous suicide mission.
Launching probe.
So, if you can come up with a good way to implement more use, more in-mission interaction between the various squad mates, so that you get all of the dialogue lines, all of the lore. Maybe just have, you know, more scenes like on the Normandy hanging out, so Garrus can be like, hey Tali, you remember riding in the elevators back on the Citadel? And Tali can be like, yeah, shut up. And he's like, oh yeah, but we had some great conversations. And she'll be like, I have a shotgun, you should shut up.
Launching probe.
There's a real line that actually happens. I think it's hilarious. But it doesn't happen unless you go back specifically with Garrison Tully to ride up and down elevators on the Citadel in one of the later games. I think it's Mass Effect 2 specifically. So, in order to get those kinds of morsels, like, they're in the game, they exist, but they're often too hard to find, too easily overlooked, or too easily excluded for one reason or another, because, Shepard did this or Shepard did that, or you're playing as Renegade Shepard this time, so now you can't talk to so-and-so. So if anyone has a better way to implement that idea than my initial idea of throwing the entire squad on the field at once and making it a big, slow, gritty, tactical shooter, like, I know they weren't very popular, but I loved them, which automatically tells you this is a bad idea. Twice, because A, it wasn't very popular, and B, I liked it. So, if anyone remembers the game Full Spectrum Warrior from back in the day, I thought that was cool. That was up my alley back when I was whatever age I was, 14, 12. It was tactical. You had to play slow and methodical, and it was hampered by the control system of an Xbox controller. And that was my first thought, to implement this story in this universe with all of these characters on the field at once. Since I'm on Tachanka, I'm going to make this as absolutely difficult for myself as possible by bringing a Solarian and a Turian at the same time. And this will give us interesting dialogue, I'm sure. If I could do a better Donald Trump impression, I'd tell you we have the best dialogue. But I have not practiced my Trump impression beforehand, so I won't. Regardless of how memeable he is. I think it should be evident from the colossal failure of the second Full Spectrum Warrior game that would not be a good way to facilitate that happening. But I'd play that.
Stop right there, alien.
Yeah, stop right there, alien. Is this where you headbutt
Clan
him?
leader wants to speak with you. Talk to him soon, alien. If we decide you're not welcome, you'll know just before we kill you.
Over, Captain. How Krogan of a title is that? How Krogan of a greeting is that? Go talk to this guy. If he doesn't like you, we'll kill you.
Someday we'll get off this rock and show those Turians who's boss. Tear them right. Tear their scales off and let the Pyjax feast on them while they're still alive. Now,
Come here, Garrus. Let's go talk to these guys. No? No comment? Nobody's saying anything? Alright. I mean, I swear, this is the opening to a bad joke.
Reports use weak encryption. I see references to a captured Solarian in the logs of the Chief Scout.
Good. Talk to Scout then. Or Chief. Either one acceptable.
A Turian, a human, and a Solarian walk onto Tachanka. I'm just waiting for the punchline. Except, it's Krogan. That's the punchline. They're gonna punch the Turian and the Solarian. And probably the human just for being there.
hold it. You must wait till the clan leader summons you. He is in talks.
You know what tradition demands. Clan Erdnot must respond. Your reforms will not go unopposed. You risk appearing weak at a critical time.
Shepard.
Just completely ignores the other guy. I almost didn't recognize him. Since when did Grunt wear Grunt? Rex.
Shepard,
Since when did Rex wear
my
white?
friend. You look well for dead, Shepard. Should have known the void couldn't hold you.
Your chief? Nice.
Looks like helping me destroy Saren and the Geth has worked out for you. Glad we didn't have to kill each other on Vermeer.
You made the rise of Erdnot possible. Vermeer was a turning point for the Krogan, though not everyone was happy about it. Destroying Saren's genophage cure freed us from his manipulation. I used that to spur the clans to unify under Erdnot.
You abandoned many traditions to get your way. Dangerous.
Big one spoken to, Uvenk. I'll drag your clan to glory whether it likes it or not. Now, Shepard, what brings you here? How's the Normandy?
That is a hell of a line. I'll drag your clan to glory whether it likes it or not. The writers for this game, for this franchise, are phenomenal, as I've said before. I feel like if we just sit here long enough, Garrus is going to say something stupid. I know it's not, but I'm enjoying the anticipation.
Destroyed in a collector surprise attack. I ended up spaced.
Well, you look good. Ah, the benefits of a redundant nervous system.
Yeah, humans don't have that.
Oh, it must have been painful then. But you're standing here, and you've got a strong new ship. Takes me back to the old days. Us against the unknown, killing it with big guns. Good times.
Krogans killing it with big guns. Oh, man.
Sounds like you've got big changes ahead for the Krogan.
We are making a neutral ground where all clans are welcome. Fertile females can be shared among clans. We will strengthen the race as a whole.
You threaten everything that makes us strong. It will not last.
Maybe. Until then, you're lucky to be a part of it.
Sounds awfully a lot like communism.
How do you maintain security with so many different clans in one place?
Any clan willing to send in hostages can come in. No fighting inside the camp. Each clan punishes its own criminals. We stop conflicts before anyone dies. Then we present a simple choice. Pay a fine and deal with your problems, or your clan is no longer welcome.
This sounds ambitious. How's it gone so far?
Better than I'd feared, worse than I'd hoped.
It can't continue. You are going against what makes us strong.
I feel like that's... You want me to headbutt him this time? Oh.
I hope that works well for your people. But back to the reason I'm here.
We don't often allow aliens to do business on Tuchanka, but you're an exception.
I'm looking for a Solarian. He was captured by the Blood Pack and brought here.
My scout commander can direct you. He's probably near the perimeter running target practice. Don't take too much of his time. I need a constant watch on the other clans.
I need to go. We'll go over this another time.
Watch yourself, Shepard. Tuchanka isn't safe and homey like Theros and Ilos.
I mean, he's literally sitting on a throne built out of rubble, which is probably centuries old from back when the Krogan blasted themselves into nuclear winter. Oh man, I got the hiccups. So my third and final talking point. That I have prior to this episode.
Watch it, human.
Has a funny sound.
What do you want, human? Rex told me to be polite. He didn't say you were going to talk to me.
Ah,
I'm looking for a Solarian. The Blood Pack captured him and he was last seen around here.
immediately
I
turns his
heard
back.
about that Solarian. Poor bastard. If it's Blood Pack, then Clan Weirlock has him. Sent one of my scouts to check it out, but he never reported back. Guess they got him, too. Chief told me to give you one of the trucks. Just follow the highway to Weirlock's base if you've got the quads to deal with him in the Blood Pack.
Let's go. I think it's funny that A, he's talking to a human, which obviously doesn't have 4 testicles. B, it's a female human, doesn't have any testicles at all. No, I brought Garrus for a reason. I'm not changing this. I wouldn't call that a truck. It doesn't have a bed that's always made. I think Krogan Scout is some kind of oxymoron. How does Garrus always manage to look so dignified?
It's a Turian trait.
Even with half his face blown off. Alright. I'll try and make this quick. So, before we got distracted with the big truck, because you know how I'm excited
combat.
about things with wheels. I was going to talk about my third discussion item on my blue sticky note of discussion items. I was trying to come up with some RPG sounding name. Blue sticky note of brilliance. I don't know.
Hit. Not blue sticky note.
Anyway. I have brilliant ideas for writing books. All the time. It's a curse.
Just the thing to help.
I have way more ideas than I could ever write. Even if I wrote full-time for a living, I would not live long enough to write all my ideas. I get ideas faster than I can write them.
Scratch one. Oh. Ah.
In this case, my idea was, because of Mass Effect Andromeda, everybody had and played the game, right? And then everybody said the game sucked. So they didn't make the second and third games. Andromeda was supposed to be its own trilogy.
Moving in close.
But that didn't happen. So I got the brilliant idea. I could write 2 books to be Andromeda 2 and Andromeda 3.
Enemies inbound.
And I could do it better because I'm a fantastic writer. And Andromeda is a
Not
very
difficult.
open, like, half-full galaxy, I could throw in a whole lot of whatever I want. And make it cool.
Do the trick.
Kewl.
Indeed.
Understood.
So...
Indeed.
Understood.
Indeed. Could burn through any armor. Ooh.
Grabbing cover.
I have a couple ideas what I would write, how that would work. And I've done my best not to think about those ideas since I had them late last week. This is Monday night for all of those interested. But,
Just for the setup.
You got it.
because I have other editing and writing, you know, personal projects that might actually make me money again in the future, I'm focusing on those. And, as I was saying, doing my best not to think about the numerous ideas I already had that I could use to finish the Mass Effect Andromeda trilogy. And do it justice for this franchise that we all know and love and is now incomplete.
Repurposed Krogan Hospital. Sturdy, built to withstand punishment.
That's unfortunate. Hospitals aren't fun to fight through.
What is fun to fight through?
Gardens, electronic shops, antique stores, but only if they're classy.
And this is why we love Garrett's antique stores, but only if they're classy.
That body, human. Need to take a look. Sores, tumors, ligatures showing restraint at wrists and ankles, track marks for repeated injection sites. Test subject, victim of experimentation.
I don't suppose there's a way to tell who this poor bastard was.
No tattoos or ID. Maybe slave or prisoner, maybe merc or pirate. Irrelevant now. Clearly part of Krogan tests to cure genophage. Humans useful as test subjects. Genetically diverse. Enables exploration of treatment modalities.
Oh?
How are humans more genetically diverse?
More variable. Peaks and valleys, mutations, adaptations, far beyond other life. Makes humans useful test subjects. Larger reactions to smaller stimuli.
Because of Morden's background in the genophage and the STG,
I know we can look much different from each other, but
those are
Asari have a
disturbing
wide range of
remarks.
skin tones.
No, ignore superficial appearance, down to genetic code. Biotic abilities, intelligence levels. Can look at random Asari, Krogan, make reasonable guess. Humans, too variable to judge. Outliers in all species, of course. Geniuses, idiots. But human probability curve offers greater overall variety.
Experimenting on humans? That kind of crap is what makes Cerberus start to seem like a good idea.
Never used humans myself. Disgusting, unethical, sloppy. Used by brute force researchers, not thinkers. No place in proper science. Krogan use of humans, unsurprising.
I imagine you had to do some live subject testing while developing the new genophage.
No, unnecessary. Limited tests to simulations, corpses, cloned tissue samples. High-level tests on Baron. No tests on species with members capable of calculus. Simple rule, never broken.
Well, that goes against my remark earlier. I hope that's true. I know Morden has his code of ethics, and part of me wants to believe that he would not lie, but I also know he's part of the STG, so part of me wants to say that everything he says is a lie.
Come on, we still need to find Malin.
Agreed.
I am the speaker for Clan Werlock, Offworlders. You have shed our blood. By rights, you should be dead already. But Werlock Gold, the Chief of Chiefs, has ordered that you be given leave to flee and spread the message of our coming.
Krogan don't generally let people go. What does Clan Werlock have planned?
If you walk away now, you can tell your children that you saw Clan Werlock before our blood pact conquered the stars. You think the Erd not impressive? They are pitiful! Werlock Gold will destroy them! The Solarian will cure the Genophage, and Clan Werlock will spread across the galaxy in a sea of blood!
Appears they discovered Malin's work. Unfortunate.
That is extremely Krogan, and entirely understandable. After the Krogan, as a species, were uplifted and then used as shock troopers against the Rachni, and then given subpar planets to colonize, and then hit with the Genophage when they didn't like having only subpar planets to colonize. So, Krogans spreading across the galaxy in a sea of blood, well, completely reprehensible, is also completely understandable.
Very Krogan.
It is very Krogan.
It doesn't have to happen like this. I can understand wanting to cure the Genophage.
No, human, you understand nothing! You have not seen the piles of children that never lived. The Krogan were wronged. We will make it right, and then we will have our revenge!
Half the galaxy sees the Krogan as victims. If you start a war, you'll lose their support.
We have the Blood Pack, and we have the Solarian. When our clan numbers in the millions, we will not need support. When we cure the Genophage, Warlock Gold will rule all Krogan. The Krogan rebellions will become the
You talk too much.
See? The human cannot hit a simple target.
To be fair, we did try and talk reasonably.
Enemies ahead!
You just like renegade options. They're more fun and exciting to you.
Big gun to solve big problem. Morden, why are you standing in the open? Yes. Why are you standing in the open? Alright, there's still Vorcha. I love this rifle. I had to say it because Garrus was down. So he couldn't say it.
perhaps likely through there. Can smell antiseptic, hint of dead flesh.
I wonder how good... Come here, Morden. I wonder how good a Solarian's olfactory senses really are, since he remarkably doesn't have much of a nose. And I realize the external cartilaginous part of our nose doesn't necessarily have anything to do with our ability to smell, but rather the length of the nasal passages inside the skull, which is part of why dogs have long noses. But he doesn't have a long nose. So, I don't know.
Active console may contain useful data. One moment. Genetic sequences. Hormone mutagens still steady. Protein chains, live tissue, clone tissue. Very thorough. Standard treatment vectors. Avoiding scorched earth immunosuppressants to alter hormone levels. Good. Hate to see that.
What was it like working on the genophage modification project?
Best years of my life. Wake up with ideas, talk over breakfast, experiments all morning. Statistical analysis in afternoon, run new simulations during dinner, set data runs to cook overnight. Laughter, ego, argument, passion, galaxy's biggest problem, massive resources thrown at us. Got anything we wanted.
That's how you know he enjoyed his work.
Do you keep in touch with your old team members?
No. All changed with deployment. Made test drop on isolated Krogan clan, hit rest of Tuchanka when results were positive. End of project. Separate ways. Watching it end, watching birth rates drop. Personal. Private. Not appropriate for team.
That's a valid
Sounds
question.
Like you were pretty important. How'd you go from that to running a clinic on Omega?
Wanted to heal people. Good use of last decade. Something easy. No ethical concerns. Understand rationale for modified genophage, right choice. Still, hard to sleep some nights.
This is an excellent point there. Solarians only live 40-ish years, so... Heck, he might be younger than Shepard at this point.
How can you agree with using the genophage, Morden? Look at what happened to Tuchanka as a result.
State of Tuchanka not due to genophage. Nuclear winter caused by Krogan before Solarians made first contact. Krogan choices. Refuse truce during Krogan rebellions. Expand after Rachni wars. Splinter after genophage. Genophage medical, not nuclear. No craters from virus. Damage caused by Krogan, not Solarians, not me.
I mean, he's not wrong, but it also certainly took away a lot of options from the Krogan. But, as we all know, Krogan aren't one for negotiating and politicking. So, if you have a better solution to have solved the Krogan question after the Rachni War, throw that one down in the comments.
We're not gonna find Malin staring at consoles. Come on.
I think it's very appropriate, given the way her character's written in my book. I feel this Lydia I have created here looks better with her helmet on. Shaved head is a little weird, even though, like, that's the way it is. That doesn't look like a Krogan body.
Dead Krogan, female. Tumors indicate experimentation. No restraint marks. Volunteer. Sterile Werelock female willing to risk procedures. Hoped for cure. Pointless. Pointless waste of life.
The voice actor is fantastic.
What was pointless? Her volunteering or the doctor's experiments?
Both. Her mistake forgivable. Theirs not. Rest, young mother. Find your gods. Find someplace better.
Almost said Turian. Solarians aren't particularly religious. They do
I
have...
didn't expect spirituality from you, Morden.
Genophage modification project altered millions of lives, then saw results. Ego, humility, juxtaposition, frailty of life, size of universe. Explored religions after work completed. Different races, no answers. Many questions.
Sounds like you were trying to deal with your guilty conscience. The doctor who killed millions.
Modified genophage project great in scope, scientifically brilliant, but ethically difficult. Krogan reaction visceral, tragic, not guilty, but responsible. Trained as doctor, genophage affects fertility, doesn't kill, still caused this. Hard to see big picture behind pile of corpses.
Can you really just rationalize it all away? How do you justify it?
Wheel of life. Popular Solarian concept. Similar to human Hinduism in focus on reincarnation. Appealing to see life as endless. Fix mistakes in next life. Learn, adapt, improve. Refuse to believe life ends here. Too wasteful. Have more to offer. Mistakes to fix. Cannot end here. Could do so much more.
It is not a surprising concept coming from the Solarian and their shorter lifespans. That's reincarnation, wheel of life, do better next time. It's a shorter life. You'll get next time sooner.
We need to find Malin and shut this place down.
Yes.
Alright. Take a hack at it.
What's this?
I think after I talk to this guy, I'm going to call it a night. This is not going to be a quick mission, and I'm already over an hour long. And the previously recorded episode, which will actually air after this one, is 4 hours of Halo Infinite. I enjoyed goofing around doing nothing, but I certainly understand no one's going to watch that. I value your time almost as much as I value mine.
You killed the Blood Pack guards.
Not Blood Pack, not member of Clan Werlock. Wrong clan markings.
I'm a nerd, not scout. Werlock guards got me. Brought me here.
I know I mentioned it already, but I don't understand a Krogan scout. That sounds like a heck of an oxymoron.
You don't look so good. Are you injured?
They gave me things. Injections mostly. Sometimes gas. Made me sick. Fever. Aches. Can't keep food down. They're fixing the genophage. I'm making a sacrifice. For all Krogan.
Do you need help getting out of here? You should be clear to the exit.
You don't understand. I'm not too sick to leave. I have to stay. They're curing the genophage. They're gonna make it all better. They have to keep doing the tests.
Caution, Shepard. Patient unstable, susceptible, brainwashed.
Why do you want them to keep doing the tests?
This is my fault. I got caught. Wasn't strong enough. Not good enough. This is the best I can do. This is all I can do. I'm not big enough to have a real shot with the females. I'll never have kids of my own. But if I help undo the genophage, then I mattered.
Millions of children will be born. Werelock children. They're gonna destroy the other clans.
But... no. No, they said I was helping Erdnot.
If you want to help Erdnot, you need to get back there. But it would take a real badass to make it back to camp while injured.
I can do it.
You? I said a badass, not some scout whining like a quarian with a tummy ache.
I can do it. I'm up. And I'm going to the female camp.
Damn right you are. Get back there and show them what you're worth. Go, go!
Waiting for the bro hug. He even yells about it with a tongue flap.
There's no pep talk like a military pep talk.
But see that comment earlier from Garrus about enjoying fighting through.
Detecting crates ahead that are holding unstable materials. A misplaced shot could cause a significant explosion.
Or a well-placed shot. Explosives useful. Burn through Krogan armor. Incoming.
Garrus, what are you doing? Is Garrus just charging the Krogan? What a mad lad.
Concussive shot ready. Watch the Krogan.
Alright, this is going faster than I remembered it going before. So maybe I will just get this over with. Ow.
Lost shield.
This genophage is a huge ethical question. You know, I again, like I mentioned earlier, the trolley cart kind of thing. You know, it's sacrificing which life to save how many lives.
Headed for combat.
And could be, has been, I'm sure will continue to be, hotly debated.
Stand eye for me.
Leave my Tyrion alone.
One less to worry about. Firing a high impact shot.
Whoa! The only thing scarier than a Krogan. He's a Krogan with a rocket launcher.
Concussive shot ready. Moving in close.
Could burn through any
Watch
armor.
the Krogan.
Looks like something that belongs in Cyberpunk. Alright, we all heard the music. I think that means I've killed all the bad guys. That was certainly the boss. Let's bypass this thing and go talk to... what's his name? Malin? I bet there's some very cringe deep dive discussions on Reddit. That's why I call it cringe. About the Genophage and the Krogans and what they deserve. Because what would a Krogan have done? What would the Krogan have done had they not been slapped with the Genophage? And, you know, several centuries later, when we come to the current Mass Effect timeline, where would the galaxy be? And, you know, knowing what we know with this fourth wall breaking stuff, would the galaxy be better or worse off to fight the Reapers?
This is valuable.
Knowing that the Rachni War was basically because of some indoctrinated Rachni, I would say we'd probably be worse off, just because there'd be more chaos going on.
Mela, alive, unharmed. No signs of restraint, no evidence of torture. Don't understand.
For such a smart man, Professor, you always had trouble seeing evidence that disagreed with your preconceptions. How long will it take you to admit that I'm here because I wish to be here?
Professor? Not doctor? Interesting.
He wasn't kidnapped. He came here voluntarily to cure the Genophage.
Impossible. Whole team agreed. Project necessary.
How was I supposed to disagree with the great Dr. Solus? I was your student. I looked up to you.
Experiments performed here. Live subjects, prisoners, torture and executions. You're doing?
We've already got the blood of millions on our hands, Doctor. It takes a bit more to put things right. I can deal with that.
Why work with Clan Weirlock? And how did you access the Genophage data?
The data was easy to obtain. We all still had clearance. We were heroes. All I had to do was ask. As for the Weirlock, they were the only clan with both the resources and the commitment.
Urdnot has a larger camp than Weirlock. Why not use them?
Urdnot Rex is too soft. He wasn't willing to do the experiments I needed. It's Urdnot's loss and Weirlock's gain. Their clan will be the first to recover from the crime we committed.
I wonder, I mean, wasn't that guy the clan leader, and how much is left of the clan after I just
What happens if the
blasted a whole
Genophage
bunch
is
of
cured
them?
and the Krogan expand again? That will be on your head.
We justified this atrocity by saying the Krogan would cause havoc and war if their population recovered. But look at the galaxy. Batarian attacks in the Traverse, Geth attacks in the Citadel. Is this a more peaceful universe? The assault on
Probably.
Eden Prime might never have happened if we had let the Krogan recover. We'll never know.
That is garbage.
How would a Krogan population explosion have done anything to stop Saren and the Geth?
An increased Krogan population would have forced the Council to take steps, likely involving colony rights in the Traverse. The Turian fleets would be vigilant for any military activity in the area. They might have stopped the Geth at Eden Prime.
Supposition. Impossible to be certain.
Don't you see? We tried to play God and we failed. We only made things worse. And I'm going to fix it.
You talked about killing, but the Genophage isn't lethal. It only affects fertility rates.
Krogan fight over fertile females. They become mercenaries or pirates because they see no alternative. They would be thriving in a cultural renaissance now had we not decided that this is what they deserved.
Inaccurate. Krogan population resulted in war. Simulations were clear.
You honestly think the experiments you did here are justified?
We committed cultural genocide. Nothing I do will ever be justified. The experiments are monstrous because I was taught to be a monster.
That's not a comment I'm gonna
Really
make.
doesn't need rescuing. What do you want to do?
Have to end this.
You can't face the truth, can you? Can't admit that your brilliant mind led you to commit an atrocity.
Like how Garrus just stands there.
Unacceptable experiments. Unacceptable goals. Won't change. No choice. Have to kill you.
Wait. You don't need to do this, Morden. You're not a murderer.
Right?
No. Not a murderer. Thank you, Shepard. Finished, Malin. Get out. No Weirlock left. Project over.
Aren't you worried that he'll start his research again?
No. Locking this unit. Special Task Group can cut access to old data. Could start from scratch. Decades of work, though. Didn't teach you everything I knew.
What if he talks to more Krogan? Tells the public about the modified genophage project?
Special Tasks Group good at covering tracks. No proof. Weirlock willingness to work with Salarian, unusual. Other Krogan will kill him.
I heard the professor. Get out before he changes his mind.
Where am I supposed to go, Professor?
Don't care. Try Omega. Can always use another clinic.
The Krogan didn't deserve what we did to them, Professor. The genophage needs to end.
Not like this. Apologies, Commander. Misunderstood mission parameters. No kidnapping. My mistake. Thank you.
Don't worry about me, Morden. How are you doing?
Should have killed him. Wanted to. Easier than listening. Easier for him, too. Experiments indicate how far he's fallen. Expected it from Krogan. Not one of mine.
Maybe you'll remember that the next time you're discussing the ethics of the genophage.
Yes. So many variables. Stress responses. Impossible to truly predict. Something to think about. Malin's research. Only loose end. Could destroy it. Closure. Security. Still valuable, though.
If you think it could be useful, why not hang on to it?
Worked for years to create modified genophage. Should destroy this. Malin's work could cure genophage. Don't know. Effects on Krogan. Effects on Galaxy. Too many variables. Too many variables.
Keep the data. Better to have it and not need it.
Point taken, Shepard. Capturing data. Wiping. Local copy. Still years away from cure. But closer than starting from scratch. Done. Ready to go. Ready to be off to Tuchanka. Anywhere else. Maybe somewhere sunny.
Is Tuchanka's not sunny?
Let's get out of here.
Like how Garrus is just kind of glancing back and forth. And never says a damn thing. I guess that is an appropriate response coming from a Turian. Stoic, military silence. Anyway, mission accomplished. Time for me to go. Like I said, my time, your time, stuff, whatnot. Party hardy. Comments in the down below about that stuff we talked about. Because we talked about stuff. We can keep talking about stuff, but only if you make those comments.